Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavatpadacharya Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodhaya Sthititolayaniyadi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madiprabhudan Vadanarasakatavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarveswaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirtha Munivaram Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहैः तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome friends, once again to our journey of Kathopanishad. We have come to the very important part of the sixth Valli, which is the third Valli of the second Adhyaya of Kathopanishad. And the first mantra we have been seeing, and we started seeing it from last week. And even before the last week, we have had the prelude of us to what this mantra is just bringing about. And as we proceed to find, because what exactly, because this the first mantra of the sixth Valli of the third Valli of the second Adhyaya says is giving the highest truth, because the mankind has ever to understand. And this has been as entrained in the first mantra, the first sloka of the 15th Adhyaya of Gita. It is the same port and same essence that has been brought about, which we have seen. We have seen part of it, and we will be getting into the plenitude and meaning of this entire, the particular mantra as to what it is, that the takeaway for us as a human being. And having gone through the Kathopanishad of last 5 vallis, and coming into the sixth valli, the penalty, this is the ultimate, the last valli of the Kathopanishad. What is going to be the takeaway? It is the culmination of the entire knowledge, entire understanding of the Kathopanishad that is going to be brought about in its plenitude, because as we go about, because all the mantras of in this, and finally they will be giving you the final takeaway from the Kathopanishad. And because as we have gone through that, and we have gone through that, whatever we have gone through, we will be able to regurgitate, and finally, because the ultimate, the sanctum sanctorum of our knowledge, where we are getting into that. As we have seen, because as we explained, because this is the mantra, this mantra is coming as a culmination of the answer to the third question of Nachiketa. Nachiketa has asked 3 questions. One is, because, the first question was, the first vara, because the first boon he wanted, 3 boons. The first boon he wanted was, he should get back to his father, because he has come to the Yama's place because his father cursed him, get lost. Because he questioned, the father's action on the yajna which he is doing, which is not in conformity with the principles through which the yajna should be done, where you will have to give everything perfect, everything usable, everything ultimately sort of dear to us should be shared with everyone, whereas his father was sharing all unwanted things. Like, any human being will do. If you want to give dana, you try to find, which is not useful to you, you give it as a dana. That is a normal human tendency, because we are living in this world and we are working for our wants and comforts. So naturally it happens. So as it was happening, his father said, and because finally when he questions as an introvert, as he was observing, as he was trying to gather the knowledge himself, Nachiketa is one of the ultimate, because the Mahapurushas of the entire Upanishad. And when he has questioned, he is an introvert, and he will just go by, and he is normally conformed to whatever has been said to him. But whenever he finds something, he will ask as innocently as possible, with all the attention, sincerity. He didn't have any agenda anywhere and all. As a boy who is in the infancy, 7 to 8 years old boy, when he questions his father in action, his father said, because what do you know about it? He was, get lost. Get lost in the sense, because I will give you to Mrityu. And he said, he left his body and went to Yama. And he said, because my father, has out of disgust sent me here, I should get back to my father as a loving son, and I should be able to get the same love and affection of my father. That he granted. The second one was, because he wanted to know the Upasana. So Nachiketa Agni. because he wanted to know the final Agni, because through which, Yaga, Yajna, the sadhana through which finally you will be able to get the ultimate knowledge, the ultimate bliss. So when he was giving him the Vaishvanara Yajna, it is called Vaishvanara Yajna, because this is the one all of us are doing. Vaishvanara Yajna is in the waking stage. Whatever we are doing with the mindfulness and sincerity, this is Vaishvanara Yajna. Every day, whatever we are acting, whatever activities we are undertaking, it's a Vaishvanara. It should be in the form of Vaishvanara. It should not have any sort of a crooked intents or crooked actions. It should be as straightforward. So your thoughts, your actions, and your thoughts, your words, and your actions, all of them will be in sync. That is as good as Vaishvanara Yajna. In those days, Vaishvanara Yajna was also performed, because it is the way of the life in the society was living, because then he was asking when Yama was, who is the ultimate authority on Yajna, when he taught it to him, Nachiketa absorbed just like that. Like a fish in the water, he absorbed it so to the perfection. Finally, he got so enamored, because he has taught this Yajna to so many people. No one had the sort of sincerity to get it, get to know it and absorb it. Whereas Nachiketa got it. Yama then named it as Nachiketa Agni, because it became, known by his name. So in sadhana also he perfected. Having achieved the two boons on getting the sadhana, the last question is asked, what happens, because when the soul leaves the body, and what happens? That is the question he is trying to answer. The sense in the body is, of course, because it will get into all the five elements, of which it is made of. And then, because finally the soul, with all the treasure trove of chitta and the knowledge and the karmas, it will come back, because that is what, finally happens. You wanted to know, because what exactly happens, but how it finally evolves, into that other world also. That is the question he is asking. A vision of the life emerges as a result of the first two boons. To do our best in reflecting the glory of the Lord in all the three aspects of the vision. Vision has got three aspects. Finally, this is what culminates three visions. It is the glory of the Lord, which we should be able to sort of bring about, and we will have to manifest in whatever we are. We are asked to do our best in reflecting the glory of the Lord in every thought and word and deed. Satchit Ananda, what we call it. What is Sat? The truth. The truthful, the going after the truth, and having a right truth, because the right thinking and the right speaking and the right action, all of them are in conformity. They are not confident. They are not having sort of a conflict with one another. So once you have your thought, the speech, and the action, all of them are having the same component of intent and action, then that is the perfection we can try to achieve. This is what has been glory on the. We're asked to do our best that, and because once having done that, because that is how we will be able to manifest the sort of glory of the Lord in our everyday life. But we don't know who is Lord. We have not seen. It is invisible. So it's going to be answered so well, because in this mantra, and we will have to respect everyone, irrespective of the fact. We are asked to see everything that shines around us, everything, with a great respect, and see the divinity in everything around us. If you are able to see the divinity in everything around without fear or favor, like or dislike, that is the ultimate. Respect everything, whatever happens. Even, if you see the gutters, it has a purpose. And if you see the fine flow of water elsewhere, it has got a purpose. You find some rat and a bandicoot going somewhere, and it has got a purpose. And you find fine flowers and garden, it has a purpose. But everything has got a purpose. You see in everything, because when you live with the nature, when you write thought and action, then you will be finding everything to be a garden of roses. So once you are able to see that, because then you will not have a like or a dislike. You will be equanimitical. You will be having the equanimity to everything. That is what. And we will have to be magnanimous. We are challenged to put aside our narrow vision of seeing the things, only things around us, and go beyond, transcend, and see how best, because how great things are there around us, and understand, because once you are able to do that, you will be able to perceive the God's presence, both as the immanent who is acting through you, and the transcendent. Finally, because it's beyond you as well as because finally when you reach that's the point of infinity, because it made the Chandrasekhar point, beyond which there is nothing else. Whether you got because 20 billion suns or so many billion galaxies or anything like that, everything because you come to know as the scientific discoveries come. But what transcends everything, what has put in everything in order, as Einstein has said, the God has not played dice. He has put everything in an order, because that order, who has created that is the God. So this is what has been brought about, and because again, we'll go into the concept of this particular mantra, Urdhvamula Avakshakaha, having its roots above and branches below. Because this is what, because we will have to try to understand, though at the cost of repetition when we are going through that. Normally trees are having the roots below the ground, and then the stem and or the barks come up, and then the branches are there, and the branches having the trees, and the trees finally, out of the trees, because you find the flowers, in the branches coming out, and the flowers finally, if the fruit giving tree, it becomes the fruit, and finally it falls off, because like that it grows. If it is a people tree, it grows and it gives a big shade under which so many people can dare. And here it is given as Ashwatha tree. Each Ashwat Sanatana. This is a people tree. This is the ancient Ashwatha tree. The ancient Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha has also got one meaning, because the tree is so vast and it is able to do, and it is also impermanent. And it is a permanent tree, because it's a permanent in the sense of conceptually, it can be treated as a permanent as well. It's a paradox. How this paradox is explained? Because in our scriptures, it is full of paradoxes. From the perplexing paradoxes, we are finding we are finding the description of the God emanating out of that. Because these paradoxes are not meant only to confuse us; it is giving us to give the clarity of understanding as to how to go about it. Isha Ashwataha Sarana. This is the this is the ancient Ashwatha tree. Why? Because why it has been said, because the inverted tree. Inverted tree, because in our, with the normal eye, with the normal vision, will not be able to see any inverted tree, nor we will be able to perceive. When the inverted tree is there, the roots are the one which is giving the nutrition and the entire energy to that. So likewise, the entire life force, everything comes from the from the firmament, from the upwards. When the roots are there, the entire energy comes from there, because finally it gets, as it goes about, we find, the way of how, because it spreads. When the branches are getting spread and the leaves are considered to be the Shrutis, Smritis, and Puranas. The leaves are the one, because which has got the function of having, because the chlorophyll and the sunlight, which is giving, and which is, they are the one, finally giving the knowledge to that end. And likewise, because we have got the sort of how they have conceptualized the entire tree in the form of the tree, barks, leaves, and all. This has got a purpose. First, we will see what it is, and then we will see the purpose behind that. Urdhvamulam avakshaka, the inverted tree, which is we are not able to see. We will be able to see only when we are at a riverside. When a tree is there by the side of the river, and when you are able to see, you will be able to see the inverted tree. What is the purpose of that? Why do we do that? It is like taking a selfie. When you are taking a selfie, you just find, because the left will be there, in the right, and right will be there. When you are when you want to see yourself, you will not be able to see yourself as it is in a selfie. Someone takes a photograph, you will be able to be, the photograph will be showing, because with all the dimensions. If you want to take a selfie with a selfie camera, you will be seeing inverted. This is exactly when you are trying to do adhyatma, when you are trying to get into yourself, when you are trying to know yourself, how it comes. There has been properly, this is basically, they say, because the selfie was, the concept has already been conceptualized. And that is how they say, you will be able to see how you will be able to perceive your selfie. And because whatever you do in the selfie will show right to left and left to right. Unless, there is a software, to revert it to show you. You can also do that. Of course, it has got. But when you are seeing yourself, in those days, when a group photo is to be taken, there used to be a sort of big camera, and with the dark food will be there. black food will be there. Under that, the operator will get in and he will see through the frame where he will be able to see them, because they will all be doing because inverted. And once he sees the inverted one, then he will be able to, because he is able to see the inverted, assuming because the black food who is just created, he is seeing us through that, because it is inverted, but for us it will all look straight. Because what happens is that when the energy comes and when it spreads, as the desire spreads, as you go into intelligence, you try to find the space and time to your advantage. Because as we work in this field, in this world, as we go about it, more you indulge, you get into all sorts of things, and because you are not able to see the roots, not the power from where it is coming. At the same time, all those indulgence and all those what you are seeing, they are all ephemeral. They are all there only for a few moments. Afterwards, it goes off. And it is a permanent in the sense, when the life-giving force and whatever is there in it, that is permanent. That is irrespective of the fact who you are, where you are born, what creature you are getting all the power from there. But what you are, because of the nature of your creation and what you are doing in this world, intelligence and all, they are all because then your own attitude and your own vasanas and happens, because like animal has got its own vasanas and we have got it our own vasanas. The trees and plants, and because they have also got their own because their own because process which has been brought about to flourish in this world to their full potential. They've all come. When they have all come, because it is their own, everyone is going. That is why, because when we talked about, we said, we will have to we will have to manifest the glory of the Lord by aligning our thoughts, our speech and action, because Satchit Ananda, which comes, finally that is Brahman, because when you are able to, then only you will be able to realize a God. But when one is in conflict with other, you will not be able to. And the second one, we said, we will have to respect all. Everything is finally having the power from Him. He is the one who is inside us, and He is the one inside in everyone and giving the power. Then what is there the difference between? There is no difference whatsoever at all. But then we do have our own, depending upon the creation, depending upon our ability, because our capacity, our capability will be different from different one. Now that is a continuous work in progress. Why we have taken the birth? Finally, because to bring our capability and sort of a capacity to such an extent, finally the final purpose is achieved when you are able to realize the glory of the God in everyone and respect everyone, and you have been magnanimous enough to give up your narrow vision and see the entirety in the divinity all around us. Finally, you will be able to realize whom you are. The purpose of understanding who you are comes from there. So that is exactly the purpose. Tatteva, because this is the ancient Ashwata people tree, and Tatteva Shukram Tad Brahma. Tatteva Shukram that is the purity personified. There cannot be many more purity. It is 24 karat gold. That is the ultimate means. That is it's not nothing beyond that. Tat Brahma. Finally, he is the one, what you call the consciousness or the Paramatman, or that is the one, finally the Brahman. You will be able to get the glimpse of that at that point. Tatteva Amrtatvam Uchyate. Tatteva Amritam Uchyate. That is the one immortal. That is going to be there. That is permanent. The one who is giving the power from upside, the roots that is giving from the power. How through the roots? Because the power comes through the roots. But the root is Prakriti, Mula Prakriti. The Mula Prakriti is the one, because who gives the entire Lakshmi, She. She is the one, who creates all these, because through this and all. How, because the roots are like the earth. The earth is the one which gives all the minerals, all the food, and it's also giving all the energy that is to be created is coming out of that. Okay, you may be having electromagnetic and all those things, because how it electromagnetic energy comes. But finally, you will have to give the particles that are generating the electromagnetic, that's also comes from the ground. Your food comes from the ground. Your clothing comes from the ground. Because even because when you say because the cloth, the cotton grows from there, and even if you synthetic, petroleum comes from there. The petroleum comes from the metamorphosis of the so many creatures, and because the all the ocean, the creatures living in the ocean, when they all get metamorphosed, over a period of time, when there is lot of the craters formed, because volcanoes are there, when they all get into the ground, most of us may be also becoming a minerals. We have seen, in this Upanishad only, depending upon our karmas, some of us may becoming a mineral. It's not necessary we have to be a human being again. There are 84 lakh birds and 84 lakh creatures in our Sanatana Dharma. We could be anyone depending upon our actions, depending upon our attitude, how you lived in this world. We will be, it is our own action. No one has it, but God has given us the energy, like, because He has shown that we are all like seeds. That we are the seed, we have got the quality of the seeds. But, because we flourish to a tree depending upon the quality of the seed in us. What is the kind of, but we can become a better seed, because during this birth, by acquiring the right qualities, by acquiring, the right attitudes, this, for that only we have come. That is the highest purpose. That's Upanishadam said, if you are not able to utilize this opportunity of being in this world and get further, because enhance yourself, in terms of capability and quality, and bringing about the glory of the Lord, because in all your thoughts, words, and actions, as well, when you are able to respect, all the creatures around us, because when you are able to see the glory of the shine and the luminous shine of the Lord in everything, and finally you have been giving up the narrow vision and see the divinity all around, both immanent in us as well as transcendent, all through this, because beyond which there is nothing else, then that's the ultimate purpose of realization of the God. Taspin lokas chitas sarve, because in Him only, in all the lokas, whatever you say, because the 14 lokas, we have got in the scriptures, 7 lokas, because are supposed to be 7 type of swargs and 7 type of patala, then all of them, because everything is in this only. It is finally that one, because when you are able to get that particular understanding, how that understanding, it is not the physical understanding with you, because our understanding is fleeting. Today my understanding is there, tomorrow I read someone says something else, my understanding undergoes a change. Whereas, because when I don't have any sort of that change coming in through, when I don't have any self-doubt, when I'm confident, because this is it, because that is the final word says, Taspin loka siti sarva tatyu atyeti na kaschana. Nothing can transcend beyond that. Once you know that, that is the ultimate power. Why this is being said so? Because we have got both. Because we have got, because like, the religion say, the God was created by someone. Because the philosophy says the God was the cause for creation. One is Nimitta Karana, and another one is, because he is also the material cause. Both are there, because there is philosophy is professing both. And scientific discoveries, they say, because it is not the creation and all, because they don't accept it's all evolved. Everything was there, because there was a big bang was there, and afterwards in it evolved. Now they have got the antimatter and all concepts have come. We will not go into the detail, because these are all the ones finally they find how the entire cosmos could have been formed, how the universe could have been formed, how so many galaxies still we are finding. Still we don't know the reason, for why so many suns are there, how they are giving up, because how they are lighting up, because their own galaxies, their own, because there are so many planets like Earths are there. In all these things, we are in one of the speck of the small entire creation or the entire evolution that has taken place. We are trying to find the cause and finally the root, from where it would have been come. It is like sitting on moving on the earth, trying to find and understand the mantle of the earth. This is exactly we are trying to do. The Adhyatma is trying to know, but how you will be able to try to know? And you have been having the senses, and your senses, will be able to understand whatever is sensibilities will give it to you. Saptasparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. You will not be understand beyond that. So this is exactly, because when it comes to this, the analogy that has been used, Ashwata is, because the worldly existence of joy and sorrows, that which will not be tomorrow. The Ashwata tree, because the root is there, he has given the energy, but you've got a lot of branches. It is like a samsara viksha. So once you more indulge, because supposing if there are fruits in the tree, because the fruits which has been said here also, the fruits in the tree, you take more fruits. and then indulge in these fruits. It's like a forbidden tree. More you take it, because you will not be able to, you will not have any propensity to understand the root, because you propensity to understand who is the cause of all those things. You don't have, because you are indulging. You will not be able to get that. Once you, Adhyatma is, once you try to understand the ephemeral existence of the indulgence and the ephemeral pleasures of the indulgence and the temporary nature of it, once you try to understand what is that beyond that, what is the purpose for which we have come? Is it that, because whatever birth, creature after creature or birth after birth, we will come here, eat, live, and go? Is it that? But there is nothing great purpose behind that. Because how we are able to understand, when we are able to withdraw from all these rigmaroles, because everyday activity which we carried on for so long, just after our own, because status, power, position, and all sorts of things which had more meaning to us. Finally, we have all come to a stage in all those things doesn't have any meaning, because we don't have it at the moment. Also, because we have got, we have seen all these things, we have understood the meaning of that. Now we have got something much more to understand. So when we are to much more understand, because what is happening as far as, we will be able to live more humanly than what we are. Does it mean we were less human? Yes, to some extent, because we have not acquired all those glorious qualities, we are capable of absorbing and understanding, and as well as practicing in everyday life. We couldn't. Once you become a glorious human being, and slowly, because all those negativities, because all those unwanted things which goes out of that, over a period of time, this doesn't happen. It happens several births. It's not, one birth or two births you will be able to achieve. But then, more you are able to achieve. That's why, all the acharyas, because all the Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, the Madhvacharya, Chaitanya, Nimbarka, and all those Jesus, Allah, all the great masters, Socrates, Plato, whoever you have seen, they have all evolved in several period of time. In fact, in our scripture, it is said, Durlabham Manushya Janmana, because this human form we have got at several sort of, the births and several evolution. Finally, it is the highest evolution in the form of creation by the God. Having come to that, we should not be able to, we should not be wasting this. That is why in Kathopanishad says, Igana Cheti Mahati Vinashti. It is a sort of a catastrophe. In this birth, in this human form, if you are not able to know who you are, if you are not able to understand the manifest of the glory of the God by seeing the divinity all around, and as well as, aligning your thought, words, and actions, and being a glorious being and try to evolve further, it's a work in progress. It will not, because stop at this. It will go on forever. So as we are reading, because there are certain, because when the tree has given, then immediately it understand why, because the tree has been given in inverted, and what is this, because is it necessary for us to understand? Certainly, it is necessary for us to understand. Otherwise, we will not be able to see why should be, because when we are trying to find ourselves, we will not be able to see beyond what our sensory experiences have given. Sensory experiences have given you, learn from it, and that knowledge is there in your treasure trove of chitta. Certainly, they are the prompts by which, you will be able to go further. Why people read scriptures? You may be reading so many scriptures, so many things, but finally, they will all be useful only to the extent, you are able to evolve. If you are not able to evolve, even after reading several scriptures, have been mastering everything, Vedas, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and all, what the use? Your life is wasted. Mahati Vinashti. That's what, because it's time to show. Because all this knowledge is finally you will be able to understand the glory of the final power, what you call God, or what you call consciousness, or you call Paramatma. It's all there. Because we will also explain, because why this has been, become very important in every aspect of every sort of a denomination or every philosophy. And this explains everything together, encompasses. It says, because the mula is, the root is, because even if you say, because if it is Prakriti or Purusha, Sankhya Yoga says, Prakriti is Mula Prakriti, and even the Mula Prakriti gets the power from there. If it is, if the roots are there for the tree, it is on the ground, earth. Earth is giving you everything, wherewithal. It gives the water, it gives the mineral, it gives the food, it gives the clothes, it gives everything. Whatever you want is given only by earth. The power which has been given to earth is the final power, what we call Paramatma. And when you are trying to understand, what you will be able to understand, you will be understand, by getting the power of your consciousness. Finally, you understand what is the consciousness. Then you know the importance of your existence, awareness, and keeping your thought, words, and actions in unison, so that you are able to see and manifest the vision of the God and vision of the world into a sort of a congregated, because the power of the consciousness, and that is the one finally guides all through. So once you are able to see that, that is the ultimate purpose of that. So we have got, because a lot of analogy that is giving mula, and then bija is seed, because finally we are all in the form of seed. So what happens is, all our knowledge, all our vasanas, all our capability, all our karmas, which enables us to grow to whatever way, because we have to, all of them are conditioned. The conditioned seed is there in the seed form. When the seed is shown, all of us are in the form of seed form. When it is being shown into the ground, it is the Prakriti, because and the earth, because the God and the Prakriti and all, they give the same energy to everyone. They water the same, all the seeds. They give the sunshine to all the seeds, but some flourish into a tall tree and scaling the sky. Some are, because growing to a small plant, and some give fruits, some give certain other, because the seeds, some give nuts. So many things are there, and some of them grow as a weeds and go off. But there is nothing that is wrong, because water is being given to everyone equally, and sunshine is being given to everything, nutrition is given to everyone equally. But why it happens? It is because our own, because the accumulation of our own chetna and our own vasanas and our own karma bandhanas, all of them come together. As the seeds, finally, because in every kalpa, because we go on, we are trying to evolve, because this is what, the in our skill, the, sort of, the philosophically we can see that, because that's what our dharma also says. In every kalpa, when the kalpa is ending, and all of us will be based back in seed form. Once again, the new kalpa begins. Again, we will be brought to experience and evolve ourselves. Once you are able to experience and evolve ourselves, what happens? Because it is that, because the cycle will go on. What is the effect of it? Then only it comes when you are evolving, and finally in the Manushyattvam itself, it takes, to be a great human being, to be an ultimate human being with 100% humane qualities, that takes time. And when it happens, what happens? Manushyattvam, you are able to do it, to this ultimate potential, that being a man, being a mankind, being a man or woman or whatever it is. All the creatures, they also have that, because they have to evolve into the next best creatures and all. They also have that, all the animals. They are also prey and predator, because that is the nature the God has given to them. They also evolve, and over a period of time, you will find them, because they will go by the nature, the nature has been God given, and we should understand the nature of the animals also. But I can't just hold the snake in my hand, and I think, because you should also understand, because this concept, doesn't have the potential. It's not its job also. The God has not meant it as its nature is different. I will have to do it. I will have to be sort of living in unison with that creature and allowing it to do, because whatever nature has been given by the God to it. Because that is where the beauty remains. And when you are seeing in that process, because it's not that, always you will be having the ahankara finding, because the same qualities, desirable qualities, even you will have to accept everything. And, because the dog tail, because it's always, you can't straighten the dog tail, because the beauty of the dog is in the tail only. If you want to straighten it, no one would keep the dog as a pet. The imperfection has just got, you should be able to accept the imperfection also while you are living in this world. You should be able to see the divinity in imperfection also. There is, with respect to the fact, whatever it is there, you accept everything and give your best, the mindfully at the moment, whatever you are doing, try to align your thought, words, and actions in whatever you are doing. And then you will be able to manifest the glory of the God. Because when you are able to see, and because you will be seeing with everyone with respect, and everyone is doing whatever has been sort of, because he is doing at that point of time, whatever has been, the God has given him the opportunity and the time has given, and how he is doing it. If possible, because we are in a position, we can give them, because further sort of tools for them to evolve and further help and all. If otherwise, because we will be doing our job, and that is our job is, when you are doing swaprayojana, be paraprayojana, because whenever I am getting done, so that others also get the benefit of it. It's a ripple effect. Whether you like it or not, it happens. When you do something, because smartly, when you do thing, you are the smartest one and trying to do for the benefit of yourself, that also have a ripple effect. It will affect someone. If I do, because if I shortchange someone, because I may be happy at that moment, but then it affects someone. Someone may be more eligible to become the vice chancellor or a president or MD or someone, because I try to use my influence, Godfather, because God is not believed, but Godfather is believed in this world. So through that, you get into that, and because then finally, that the other person will certainly be the person more deserving, because he has not been given the chance. But you think you've got it, but finally, because the divine law of equality will catch up. When it catches up, because when you think why it is happening me, why me? Question shouldn't arise. Why not me? When you did it, at that time, you couldn't ask. When things are going, gung ho, you don't bother about all those things. When things go bad, when you find miserable, you are trying to bother about it. That will not work. That is fine. At any point of time, when you are able to have these great qualities has been initiated in this particular the particular mantra, and as well as as we go about it, we will be seeing. And it also gives, because the cosmic mind, because which is finally universal knowledge, which is finally giving you the right thoughts. More you are evolving, there is always treasure trove of thoughts, which will be given to you. The more you evolve, more you are able to refine yourself. There will be, you will be glittering like a gold, and you will be embellished, in the world, and as a sort of, and the world will be, you will become more optimist, and you will be enjoying this world by seeing the divinity all around, because always having sort of a unstained and just pristine, pure bliss all around, you will be seeing this world is the best place. You will be able to see the mystery of the world, because in its purity of purpose. As we go about it, the life will be a joy, and it is continuously evolving. And as you are evolving, you will finding not that, because you will be taking like a river, flowing, and like a royal flow of the river in its path, you will be flowing. You will not be happening as to what is happening in the banks. There will be so many things happening in there. There could be a storm, there could be sort of drought, because there could be so many things. But you will be watering, and as you are going about it. So you will have the flow of the life without anything, and finally understanding the glory of the entire universe and taking it whatever it may be, whether you are going through the hills and you are going through the sort of valleys, whether you're going through the downhills or whether you're going to downstream. And because when you are able, when you are getting, because so many unwanted, water is coming and merging with you, and so many times your water is being taken and misused, you will not be bothered, and you will just be going about as a flow. It is basically talking about the flow, because there is a book by, there is a biggest philosophical, the psychological book, called Flow is there. They will talk about it. That flow says when you are able to do at the moment, whatever you thought with the thought and words and action, and with the full-fledged, because without any like, dislike, when any of the contamination of the mind, and you are able to do that, is a flow. A musician, when he tries to give his best performance, he is in a flow. He's not bothered. His mind is fully onto that. He's not bothered, who is just, snoring in the crowd, and who is not listening, who is just looking into his mobile phone. He's not bothered. He's giving his best, he was into that. That is Adhyatma. That Adhyatma has been brought about in this particular month. A sportsman, who is excelling everything and is concentrating on his training and this entire sort of skill, and he's not bothered about, and he doesn't have any ill will to others. He wants to excel, perform, and give his best. He has to achieve the goal. He does it. In that process, he becomes an inspiration to so many people. he brings, because his life is being studied by so many people. So therefore, autobiography of so many people, because if you see, because it's better to read autobiographies of what they have undergone, great people who have achieved, who are all the great masters of this this world, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Swami Rama, Paramahamsa Yogananda, even, because the Acharyas, because Shankara Vijaya, Madhva Vijaya, and Ramanuja Vaibham, so many things, and even otherwise, all great masters, if you see Sufis, and even great philosophers, who have written about it. Socrates, Plato's Republic, which brings about the wealth of knowledge and understanding, as well as, the going through this world gloriously, that has been brought about, because for philosophy, the first Western philosophy, the first chapter, anyone who has to read first Plato's Republic, then only they will be able to go further. It is like that. And basically what it happens is, we will be stating when everyone equally and all, we will not be using anyone as a means. We will be able to see the end in everyone. That means we are considering each and every being to its full potential. We are respecting it. We are magnanimous enough to understand our smallness. We are not special. We are equal. And because as equal as any of the human beings, as equal as any of the creatures, who have been assigned the nature by the God as it is, and we will have to exist and enhance ourselves by living in unison with all these creatures. That is the purpose of that. In that process, we will be further going into an understanding. And once we understand that, whether scientifically, whether they say, because the world is evolving, and theistically, people say that someone has created the world, we don't have any conflict with this. Both are being understood, by our Vedanta, and they have brought both the aspects of life. This is one particular mantra which brings both the aspects of it and brings about it. It says, once you understand, the power that be, which is being giving you, enabling you, which is giving you the intuition to bring in so many discoveries, comfort, and so many scientific sort of advancements in the everyday life. And as well, because when you are able to philosophically look into, because when you are trying to detach, from the material interest of the life and seeing what best, we can do. And then in that process, you will be getting a great objectives, great goal. You will be creating great organizations. You will be rather gathering so many like-minded people and creating a movement. So it is the world movement, in which everyone will be happy, and the world will be a wonderful place to live, and we will be able to every day enjoy the mysteries of the world. Vismaya, which is a word called in Sanskrit, the mysteries of the world and the miracle of the world. And it is the wonder of the world. It is finally the wonder of the world, we'll be finding. We will be in a wonderful world, and we are in a wonderful place. Whatever maybe newspapers may say, news channels may say, we are in a wonderful place. We will be able to do whatever, and you have got so many things to do wonderfully. You will not find bogged down by, oh, what will happen, this happened, they are saying like news is saying nothing. You will be having a wherewithal to do whatever be, and you will be fearless. Go about it. And you, as Vivekananda said, arise, awake, stop not, till the goal is reached. That's what we will be able to see. With this, I conclude today's session. Sahana vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.